Hello everyone, I am Vidut Chakravarti, a director in the mining and metals practice within KPMG in India. Today, we would like to have a discussion around transforming the mining sector amidst energy transitions that we have been observing. The theme of this discussion today is very relevant in the context when there is enhanced focus on sustainability with lower carbon emissions. We are observing that countries across the borders are moving towards specific targets within ESG and aiming to achieve net zero position within a target timeline, be it 2040, 2050, whatever. Now, mining as an industry is one of the high impact industries that can contribute significantly towards this goal of net zero. In this regard, many large companies, mining companies globally, are adopting specific actions like adoption of renewable energy source-based power consumption, even for large equipment fleet like the dump trucks, drills, shovels, the HMM that actually operate within large open pit mines, and also other actions to minimize its negative impact on the environment. That is one thing that we have been observing. On the larger canvas, I think the mining companies are also faced with the emerging reality of the transition that is becoming prominent in the primary energy mix. The world is surely moving towards renewable based sources like solar, hydro, wind, etc., from the fossil fuel based energy sources like coal, oil, gas, etc. The business landscape for mining companies is changing very fast due to this change in energy transition, not only at the national level, but we are observing that at the regional and global level as well. Now, with this context, we would like to dive a little deeper to understand the transformation landscape for mining companies globally with specific focus in India. I am joined today by Mr. Niladri Bhattacharjee, who is a partner as well as head of mining and metals within KPMG in India, to share his views on this theme of this discussion today. Niladri, if I may ask you to share your views on some of the other triggers for transformation in the mining sector as you have been observing.
Hi Vidyut, thank you for having me today. See, historically, mining sector transformation globally has been driven by commodity price cycles. So we see repeated cycles of capex expansions followed by cost reduction. In the last, I would say about 10 years, the mining sector has been in some flux, and commodity price swings have been quite frequent since 2008. The triggers, however, in the last 4 or 5 years for mining transformation has predominantly come from the ESG domain, as you correctly pointed out. In India, however, the triggers for mining sector transformation are not just limited to the ESG triggers, but also because of the mining sector reforms that are happening from 2015 onwards. With the enunciation of the MMDR Amendment Act, the process of auction started, and a period of transparency, a period of competitiveness came into the field of mining in the country. As a result of which, we have seen that the need for transformation for mining sector companies in India has gone up. This is going on hand in hand with the energy transition challenge. So this climate change, need for investment in alternative energy sources, these are also driving the transformation agenda of mining companies in India.
Thank you, Niladri, for your initial thoughts. But if I may ask you, according to you, what do these changes in this business environment and the reforms mean for these mining companies? How are they going to react to these changes in the business environment and the other ESG targets, net zero, etc.? What are your views?
Well, Vidyut, each commodity faces its unique challenges. For instance, coal, it has to contend with reducing demand and also to stay competitive against cheaper energy sources that are coming. It also has to address the issue of pollution. Uh, Insofar as iron ore is concerned, it has a different set of challenges, increased scrap availability, and technology transition in the way of the metallurgical process that is driving the change insofar as the iron ore and steel sector is concerned. So, uh, if I look at the other wider set of commodities like strategic minerals, germanium, lithium, nickel, etc., we are seeing great demand primarily on account of the new economy, the direction in which the digital world is taking. So different commodities, as I said, will have different triggers. If I were to speak of how are companies reacting to these, obviously there are many multi-mineral companies and there are single mineral companies. So if I really look at it, I would say that global companies are rethinking their capex strategy to reduce the amount of risk that they face because of all these challenges these minerals are bringing to the table. For instance, cobalt is one of the sunrise minerals important for the new economy. And in the last 4 or 5 years, there was a massive rush towards the cobalt deposits in DRC, that is the Democratic Republic of Congo. But after the Glencore issue, Xstrata Glencore issue, we have seen that companies are becoming very measured about their investments in Congo. We are seeing a lot of focus moving towards what shall I say, more mature mining geographies like Canada, Australia, etc. And that is predominantly an ESG trigger. You mentioned ESG in the last point. It is an ESG trigger. If I were to look at the Indian scenario, I would say that because of this government-driven regulatory reform, the Indian mining sector has moved towards a period of greater cost control and compliance. Uh, Cost control, why? Because they have to be competitive in the auctions, etc. The elbow room actually for flexibility or lax working, that has reduced. And as a result of this, we have seen structural changes also in the sector. For instance, Odisha iron ore market, which used to be a merchant iron ore market predominantly, in last 1 year has become a captive iron ore market, thanks to the auctions. So I see all these changes affecting predominantly three ways, or rather driving three different themes of transformation. First, I would say that because of this heightened need for control over mine opening activities that play such an important role in the profitability, ultimate IRR of that mine, the return of that mine, what is happening is that there is a heightened focus on mine developmental activities and the issues related to land, rehabilitation, resettlement, clearance related challenges. These things are, the entire way of looking at mine development is being revolutionized so that slippages don't happen in terms of delays or in terms of overruns of any kind. Insofar as the operations is concerned, at least I am seeing is great amount of focus on visibility of various aspects of operations, whether it is efficiency, whether it is safety, sustainability, throughput, everything. All of these things are being monitored very, very closely. Compliance, for instance. Last but not least, as investors, what people are doing, they are trying to balance their risks. They are not staying focused on the old part of the value chain wherever they were. They're trying to forward integrate, backward integrate, diversify. I'm essentially therefore seeing these three themes. One, based on reducing developmental risks. Second, bringing more visibility in operations. And third, by diversifying, so to speak. You yourself are working with so many clients. across the world as well as in India. Uh, I'm sure you have also encountered quite a few of these themes. Why don't you speak a little bit about them?
Yeah, I think Niladri, I would align with your thoughts on the three specific themes that you have just highlighted. If you look at India specifically, and I think it's true for other mining geographies as well, I see three specific trends. First and foremost, I think the project developmental risks that have been identified at the highest levels in the government. Everybody is recognizing the challenges around rehabilitation and resettlement, along with land acquisition and other statutory clearances. And the case in point, the recent example that we have seen, that our Ministry of Coal in Government of India has recently set up a national level program management unit to push the mine operationalization agenda across multiple coal mines that were auctioned since 2015 and were stuck at various levels of operationalization. That was not happening. So individual companies are also looking at addressing this operationalization risk front and center by pushing for a structured and time-bound approach towards mine opening. I know for a fact that KPMG, as part of this, we are working with multiple companies in this, and clients are reaching out to us. Insofar as second point, insofar as visibility in operations is concerned, like the way you spoke, I think this is being enabled by this digital agenda or push. A wide range of use cases from remote sensing technologies for boundary management to say sensor-based monitoring of individual equipment. I think those are use cases being undertaken under this theme. And once visibility is achieved, analytics comes into the picture, where analytics is being applied to optimize business operations, improve efficiency and productivity, both for manpower and equipment. In some of our clients, I have been seeing that there is, enhanced focus on this digitalization agenda, and we have digitized, say, for example, tracking of equipment, material, and workforce at some of these mines, both in India and overseas. In other projects, we have undertaken some very unique video analytics based use cases to capture some very interesting stuff. So this is another a very important theme that is emerging. And I think in the larger context of ESG and net zero, this digital can actually play a very pivotal role, because in a way it helps you to avoid that physical conflict at multiple places. The third theme that also, as you pointed out, Naladri, is, and I've been observing, is the diversification and value addition area. That's the very important theme that is emerging out. We are seeing traditional contract miners entering commercial mining space, be it coal or iron ore and other areas. We are seeing commercial miners engaging in value addition of their products through forward integration through the value chain. The auctions are actually providing a transparent opportunity for people to diversify into multiple mineral assets or commodities. And as far as India is concerned, I think India's growth requires these things to happen so that the nation can venture out. The ecosystem players can venture into multiple business elements within this ecosystem, and India can actually aspire to have very strategic, mineral agenda, looking at these energy transitions that we have been discussing in this particular forum. With these views, Niladri, if I may ask you for your views, okay, especially in the context of the large phenomenon that has impacted globally over the last 7-8 months, which is COVID-19. We all know and we have been observing that mining and metals has also been impacted significantly by this pandemic, and India is no different. Our entire ecosystem is affected due to that. What is your reading of this impact, Niladri? Are you seeing any new themes emanating out of this, which may actually help the ecosystem players to align to a more efficient way of working together? Is there some positive signs that you have been observing? What are your thoughts?
If anything, Vidyut, COVID will heighten the need for such transformation, as I see it. See, it has shown that no part of the world is really insulated from global risks, whether it is a rich country or a poor country. So one can see how it is strengthening the arguments in favor of climate change action on the one hand, and driving the world towards cleaner fuel, to be more specific for us, which essentially means that coal miners will have to transition, will have to diversify, will have to be prepared in some way for ramp downs, and also become cost competitive while they are still at it. I mean, this is not only applicable to coal miners, this is also applicable to the coal ecosystem players, whether it is equipment manufacturers, whether it is say mining contractors. They all need to adapt to this. I'm also expecting this COVID-19 to drive some amount of supply chain realignment around the world, and India may have a role to play in terms of the mining sector. India has been focusing on Make in India. The Steel Ministry in the past has tried to drive an agenda called Melt in India. And I think it is time for the mining sector to step up and also speak about Mine in India. But for that to happen, it not only calls for the transformation of individual companies, it may also require some degree of transformation of the regulatory environment in which we operate. It is important for us to get back, frankly speaking, between I mean, it is a discussed topic in the mining sector forums that it is important for India to get back into the Fraser Institute list and start improving its ranking. We were not rated very highly early on, and later on we did not participate in these rankings. But it is important for us to take the bull by the horns and get our ranking up. And I think the government is giving a tremendous amount of push for Atmanirbhar Bharat, and many of these things will probably integrate at some point in time with this agenda. But I guess that is a topic for another forum.
Okay, I think those are great thoughts, Niladri. The way you, I mean, kind of summarized the impact of COVID, and I think the supply chain realignment point is actually, to be honest, within the mining and metals ecosystem, it is probably a positive thing that is emerging out of this particular challenge. So over the last 15-20 minutes, we have discussed a few of the important things. If I may take this opportunity to summarize the key points of our discussion today, I think first and foremost, mining is a sector which is going through structural changes, irrespective of whether businesses like this nature of change or not. It is being thrust on them. So it is important that they imbibe this change and adapt to the new realities. The second is they need to up their game in their existing business and also spread their wings to manage their overall portfolio through diversification, etc. The third is, of course, that a lot of private and public sector companies are realizing this, and they have been embracing this change. A lot of internal and external, actions that are being observed within the mining companies and the larger ecosystem players, the way the business happens. And the last but not the least, that companies that are fast embracing this change is probably going to be better off than others who are not, from a long-term sustainability perspective. So with these, I think we can conclude this discussion. Thank you so much for your time, Niladri. It was a great discussion. And I sincerely look forward to the roundtable discussion on Atmanirbhar Bharat, where you are having a panel discussion there. Thank you.
Right. See you, Vijay. Thank you.
Yeah.